Hello, all. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking the time and coming in so we can have this brief meeting about our current quarter and possible recommendations. Throughout this meeting, we're going to be discussing our new quarter projections, our customer service, our deliveries, and our customer guarantee. And then at the end, we'll also have time for any questions, concerns, or any feedback. First of all, I'd like to start off with our projections. Right now, where we stand, we're currently at a 10 plus customer increase. With that being said, we have an increase in sales, we have an increase in deliveries. So we want to make sure that we are meeting our customers' needs and that we are scheduling each delivery accordingly. Moving on with our customer service. We'd like to review our company's mission statement to ensure that all stores are taking into consideration our customers' needs, which is to improve our quality of life for our customers and our coworkers, having a winning spirit and acting with a servant's heart. With that being said, again, with our store projections exceeding from what we expected, we're going to be having a lot of more deliveries, and we have to ensure that the customer is getting their delivery on their scheduled time and that we're not overbooking the deliveries to make sure that we're able to accommodate their delivery schedule and our customer is not waiting. So that's how we're going to be able to have that repeat customer service. Here on, again, specifically on the deliveries, I've had to come up to my concerns that there has been a lot of customer complaints about our delivery and the delivery schedules. With us being more busy, we've had a lot of delivery overbookings, and I've had a lot of customers do our customer survey feedback saying that when they call the store, they're not able to get a specific time of where the delivery is, how long it's going to take our delivery drivers to get there, and if there's anything going on, whether they're running behind, we're not able to give them that information. So that's something that we do have to look into to make sure that we're able to accommodate our customers. I also have, as you all know, right now we are not providing a company communication device for the store management to communicate to our delivery drivers. Right now, the only way that we have communication with them is through their own personal cell phone devices. So anytime that the store needs to communicate with them, we're dialing them on that personal cell phone. So I've had a lot of employee concerns come up to me, a lot of employees telling me that they don't feel comfortable enough calling the customer in case they're being late on the cell phone, in case they can't reach us at the store, or also if us here at the store need to reach them, we have to reach them through the cell phone, and they might not always have that device available with them. So they definitely are looking to help our customers to have a better way for us to communicate with them. And how do we plan on addressing that issue? I definitely are recommending that we implement some sort of a rule or some sort of a device in our store system so that we can get that open line of communication. What I'm recommending again is that we have an open line of communication with the delivery drivers at any time when they are out in the field. With that being said, I've come up with two solutions, either giving them a cell phone device, or they've also come out with a new high-tech walkie-talkie. With that, basically, it's compared to like a Nextel or something like that, where at any open range you're able to communicate with the other end at any channel that we decide to pick. With that being said, we can start with the walkie-talkie pros and cons. With the walkie-talkie, there would be no recurring monthly charge. It would be a one-time charge to buy the device, which would be $30. We can use many channels to communicate with the employee. A pro, again, is that it's a one-time fee, not many recurring charges. The con side of it is that because it is on a radio, there can be many faults of not being able to communicate with them at any time. We might have to switch channels. If we're not on the correct channel, then the communication can be closed again. Also, it does have a short-term battery life, so we would have to make sure that we can get that extra battery that's going to be able to fulfill us for at least a year, but it might have to be replaced. Another thing that concerns me about a walkie-talkie is our safety. With the walkie-talkie, they will not be able to call 911 or anything like that in case of an emergency, or if they're in an accident, anything like that. We won't be able to communicate to for them to get help. All they'll be able to communicate is with the store versus them directly communicating to whoever they need to get to for an emergency. Our option B is a cell phone. Now, with that being said, it'll be longer lasting. If we need to, we may only need to replace it every 2 years, but a cell phone life, as long as we're taking care of it, can last longer. That also, going back to the security measures, they'll be able to make those 911 calls or call whoever they need to call, either if it's our AAA, if they have a tire, anything wrong with the truck. Also, there would be no risk of losing a major signal because they're actually going to be connected on a line versus a radio. Also, we'll be able to get in contact with them at any time, and we all know we might not be able to, versus picking up the phone and giving them like a 2-quick-minute message, we can just text the cell phone through our devices that we have right now to let them know what's going on and what we need them to do. Also, another main thing is that they are reliable. They're going to be able to work. The lines are going to be working fine against the emergency, everything like that. Another con of the cell phone is that there would be a monthly rate, which is about $45 per line plus tax, and the cost of the cell phone is approximately $199. I went ahead and I did a little research with the cell phone company, and because we are current customers with them, they will actually be able to provide us with a deal so that we can get the lower monthly cost of $45 versus a regular line of $60 to $70. So because we've had a good standing account with them, they'd be willing to do that for us. In addition to that, I would also let you know that right now I do think that the best option that we have to iterate in our company would be option B, which is the cell phone. With that being said, I have in my own store, I have tested out both options. I've tested out the walkie-talkie and the cell phone. The reason why I think option B would be better is because, again, when I try to communicate with my drivers through the walkie-talkie, it wasn't a signal all the time. The clarity of the call is not that good, so we would have to repeat to each other back and forth, the same thing. And we did that for about 2 weeks with the cell phone, or I'm sorry, with the walkie-talkie. And then we tried the cell phone for 2 weeks, and it was a complete turnaround. With the cell phone, I can communicate anytime I needed to. If I needed to know a quick ETA, I can just text them, and they'll text me back. I'll be there in 10 minutes or whatnot. Another benefit of that is that if the customer does have a concern or anything like that, we can address that right there at the point of the delivery versus the customer having to call us at the store number or having the customer come in because, again, there is no line of communication between the driver and the store. And another thing that I wanted to bring up to you is the fact that we've had a lot of customers that when they've gotten their delivery that's been either damaged merchandise or anything like that, the driver doesn't always know what is the best option. What do we need to do in that case? Do we have to go and reorder merchandise? Do we have anything extra we can bring them in the store? And they might not always know that, and the only way to know that is if you get in touch with the store and speak to management. And like I said, without no communication, the driver would have to usually come back to the store and see what options we might have available, and then possibly go back out to the customer's house that day depending on the schedule, or they would have to come back on a different date. So that again would be going bad towards our customer service. The customer often cancels their order. So with it being said, it will be a monthly charge for the cell phone, but there's going to be a lot of cut down in costs, I believe, that it will bring our company. the employee won't have to drive back and forth from the customer's home because they need to get something said to management or bring back any new thing, because we're going to be able to have that open line of communication. In addition to that, our customers are going to be more willing to come into the store and purchase more from us because they feel that they're treated better just because of the one thing of having an open line of communication. And with option B, the cell phone, we will be able to go and do that. The next thing that you're probably wondering about is, again, how are we going to budget that, and how are we going to make that cost into our P&Ls, or our projected. Basically, everybody can budget it within their store budget, and there will not be over budget because of the fact that right now we are doing great in our deliveries, we're doing great in our sales, and each store does have the capability to iterate that cost in their budget. I will personally go ahead, and if there is a question or concern about the budget on that specific store, I will definitely go ahead and look over the projection, the sales, or what we can do to move around the budget to make sure that this is a possible option for each store, because again, it's not just a want, it's a necessity that each store needs. And that is how I believe that we will be able to end this quarter strong, is by adding that communication device. That way we can go ahead and up our sales, we can up our customer service with just the one device. So now that you've heard all my recommendations and we've gone over everything, is there any questions or anything that I can help you? If not, I would like to go ahead and thank you again for taking the time and coming and meet with me so we can go ahead and go over this.